Wow, just look at the size of this thing. Oh my gosh. Wow, look at the size, the sheer monstrosity. Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh, I need to get the camera back to get all of it. As you can see, it's huge. Where's the other Pilgrim box? Let me get this one, just for comparison. Hello, guys. Welcome to Aether Reviews. Today we'll be reviewing the Pilgrim Noir. Just hang on. I just wanted to compare them. The boxes. Wow, wow. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Which one do you think sounds better, based on the size of the box? I don't know. It's hard to guess, right? I think this year we have seen a few boxes that are big. I think this is like kind of a trend. I think Dunu Glacier was the first, and then the Xuanwu Gate by Tangzhou was a very huge box. And now we have this one. I think there's another one that I had that had a huge box as well. Anyway, today we'll review the Pilgrim Noir. It cost more than the other Pilgrim, the original Pilgrim. And today's review is going to be a bit different. Like, I will show you exactly what comes in a box. I will make it under a minute because the experience is very simple and straightforward. And then I will talk about the sound, but I will not review the Noir separately. I will do it as a comparison with the Pilgrim as well, because the differences are very small between both of. Yes, there are differences, but they're not as pronounced or as drastic as you might think they are. I think they are, like, you could say like it's an edition of the Pilgrim, like, like if you guys remember, like SA6 Ultra and MK2, it's not a new IM, it's just a twist, a slight retuning. And I think although there is another crossover, another like arrangement for BAs, for mids or highs, something like that, there's still, in my opinion, very, very close to each other in sound. And I'm going to be exploring that differences with you here, and I'm going to be showing you what they are. Let me get the Pilgrim. Let me drink some water before before hijinks comments on my cotton mouth. So this is the IM. Like, I will show pictures when I open this box, because I already set up the camera here. The experience is very simple. You get the cable, you get the IM, you get this very nice case. It has the same feeling. Here you get the feeling of the original Pilgrim. You get the feeling of leather. They're the same size, the same case, but the material here is different. It's like this, it's like the Annihilator case and the Diva case, but the Diva case is more like a rectangular shape. But they are similar. They come with a spin fit, the same one that comes with the Pilgrim. It's not different. And it comes with the same brush that you get. Again, same exact thing. And the cable and just the warranty card and a small pamphlet and like a note. I will show you guys the note. I can't even open the box here with one hand. I need to clear the desk before I open this box. Anyway, the cable, the IM itself has, of course, the Pentacon ear, but the cable here comes with a twist. First of all, I think this is like one of their famous cables. Maybe you guys could tell us in the comment. It's a very nice cable, non-microphonic. It has like excellent sound quality. I will get to the point where I speak about the sound quality of the cable and what are my thoughts about that in a moment. But I just want you to know what else do you get with the cable. You get what they call their system, which is called Term X, if I remember correctly, which means that you grab this here and you can just twist it. It's a screw-in, threaded screw-in, and then you get here, you just pull it gently, and you can see now, understand, you can change the 4.4 to 3.5, I think 2.5 maybe, but you have to buy these terminations separately. They sell them on their website. Let me get this one back. Let's hit it. It's very easy. It's a very nice system. I like the security of the threaded system, and it's nice to see it here. Another thing you might get is what they call Connex. Connex is this thing right here. You can see this is the Pentacon ear, but let's say this is an expensive cable, of course, and you might want to use it with another IM. So what you do is that you put your hand here and you just twist it gently, and it comes off. And this is what you get. This is the connection. So you can buy like things like this one. Other terminations you can get like 2-pin. You can get MMCX. You can get IPX, I think it's called. All these things you can get them. QDC even, probably, I'm not sure. But you can get probably most of the connections, and you just swap them here so that if you buy an expensive cable from Effect Audio, you get the advantage that you can do that. The cable itself is actually built pretty nice. Like, I have nothing else to say about the cable. It's really nicely built. It's very good. It sounds great. Like, I have no complaints. I don't know else what to say about the cable. It's a cable, it's high quality, well built cable. And I'll get about the sound later. Now let's talk. We can see here this quickly before we talk about the sound. It looks matte black. I used Divinous Velvet with it for two reasons. Number one, it looks awesome. It looks amazing in my opinion. You can see that, and see, it looks dope. It's like a blacked out BMW. It looks awesome. Like, I dig the look. I dig the look a lot. And there's the gold highlights. The nozzle itself, I will be posting a measurement for it. It has this golden color. I'm not sure if it's copper or gold. I really hope it's not copper. Like, I don't like it to oxidize or change color or anything like that. But anyway, it looks awesome. You get the Elysian logo on the which side is it? The left side, and then you get the Effect Audio logo on the right side. Obviously, this is a collaboration between them. You can see both logos here as well. And that's what I have to say about the build and so on. Done. Took more than necessary. Let's talk about the sound. I'll put a graph. It will be comparing the Noir and the Pilgrim. And let's compare them, because actually you can kind of look at the graph and kind of understand how they sound without me saying anything, honestly. And I will explain to you why. Like some other IMs, you can listen and you can see and you can say, oh, yeah, this has a similar graph, but this one is shouty, this one is not. This one has more detail, this one is not. But here, actually, instrument separation, many things are similar. Let's break it down, guys. Let's start from the basic. Let's go to the sub bass. Sub bass is almost the same. The way I feel it, if I try to separate it from the bass, I hear it exactly the same. The way I hear it on the Pilgrim original version, or like OG as most people call it, is the same way I hear it on the Noir. Now, the same exact rumble, the excellent detail, it goes low. It's really, really, really a good sub-bass performance, one of the best you can get. It goes really low, it reaches 10 Hz, it's very detailed. When the music calls for it in EDM or something like that, it delivers, and delivers way beyond your expectations. Clean, detailed. The name of the game here is detail. The Pilgrim is one of those IMs where you hear details in the sub bass. So this is something, that is in the original version and in the Noir as well. It's not better in the Noir or anything like that. It is still there. So I'm happy to say that. Now, when we move on to the mid bass, here is where things become different. And this is one of them. Probably there are three areas where there are differences to my ears, at least, even without the graph. 3 areas to my ears where I notice a big difference, and the mid bass is one of them. Now, when I use the original Pilgrim, I always had the feeling and the thought, and I shared it with you guys, that I just wish they add 1 to 2 to 3 dBs of mid bass. Here they did something, but still, like, my personal preference, I prefer more. But what they did is enough. Like, when I listen to the original version, I feel, just if they just added 1 or 2 dBs. But when I listen to the Noir, I don't get that craving. Like, it satisfies my bass needs, but it doesn't, like, for my preference, it doesn't suit my like, if I had to listen to something, I would choose more than that, slightly. But what is there is more than sufficient, and I can hear the differences very, very clear, especially when I listen to, like, some things like drum solos or things like that. You begin to feel how strong the bass is. Now, is very small on the graph, but it's very noticeable to my ears, like, extremely noticeable. Like, I think even if you guys, any of you, like, you just normal guys who don't care about music, you just compare them, listen to side by side, you'll be picking it out immediately. It's so easy. And drum solos specifically, I say drum solos because drums are one of these instruments that are actually universal, and you find them in pop, you find them in hip-hop, you find them in rock, you find them in soundtracks, you find them in music everywhere, jazz. So drum kicks, you kind of like get, on the Pilgrim it's detailed, but on the Noir, it has that weight behind it, man. It has that extreme bass behind it. That's awesome. When you hear other like music as well, hip hop for example, you begin to feel the mid bass is more there. It's grabbing your attention in the background. It's I wouldn't call it light, but it's not heavy or anything, but it's much more, and that's in itself is awesome. Moving on to the lower mid range, you will find on the graph it looks similar and it sounds almost similar. The difference is the mid bass on the Noir adds the weight, again makes some like voices sound naturally thick. Like I have a Shure mic here and I record myself with it and my voice sounds more thick in it. It has that podcast quality. And with the Noir, I detect my voice as a little bit thick, the same way I hear it on my speakers. On my Pilgrim, my voice is normal. So you kind of get that also with other stuff as well. Like when I listen to videos, I listen to podcasts, I feel the voices of the males are a bit thick. When I listen to some songs, like male vocalists who have thick voices, they sound like naturally thick, at least thicker than the original. Like the original is about the details. So you feel where I'm going with this. There is a slight weight to the lower mid-range, a slight oomph behind it, a slight meatiness, so to speak, to the lower mid-range. Now, when we move on to the upper mid-range, things begin to differ again. And that is where, in my opinion, the biggest difference here happens. Like, for example, if you look at the graph, you'll find there's 2 peaks or something like that. To my ears, I will tell you what I hear. I hear that the male vocals are a bit pulled back, slightly, more than the original Pilgrim. They're a bit more relaxed, and most vocals are a bit more relaxed. Female vocals are a bit more forward on the Noir. I'm speaking about the Noir. The male vocals on the Noir are a bit pulled back, slightly, a bit more relaxed. Pulled back is a severe word. It's an extreme description. I would say it's a bit relaxed. Like you feel it's blending in with the mix and not as standing out as they do on the Pilgrim. But when we move on to the female vocals, you find that they are a bit more forward. You can perceive them more clearly. And the strangest thing happened is that some instruments are more forward on the Noir. Electric guitars with their grunges, sounds like that. They are very forward on the Noir compared to the original version. And jazz trumpets, for example, are one of these instruments that sound more forward on the Noir. But again, male vocals and other instruments are a bit more relaxed. So you kind of see what I'm going with this here. Like overall, even though the female vocals are a bit more forward, that tuning with the instruments, with the vocals, the whole mid-range is a very, very relaxed presentation. And you can see that even when we move to the treble. When we move to the treble, the presentation is very different. Like the original version, I wouldn't call it bright. Like bright is a very strong word. It's not the original version. It's not a bright IM. It has a lot of clarity. It has a lot of air, and it has even a lot of sizzle. Like up top, that air. Like it's really delightful. I wouldn't call it bright, but I would say it's brighter compared to the Noir. The Noir has the same qualities, but things are a bit in the background slightly. They're not in the background, but compared to the original, they are. So, like for example, like cymbal strikes and hi-hats and things like that sound on the Noir as if they are not close to your ear, not forward. They are just slightly in the background, just there with detail, but not having the the space around them that the original version offers, that clarity, that sizzle, that extreme definition that you get. That's one of the differences. And both of them are enjoyable, but when I listen to them, I like that treble aspect of the Pilgrim. It's one of its best qualities, the original version. It's one of its best qualities that air clarity adds to the vocals, makes the vocals shine. Even now, if you want to know the differences between them, look at the tuning now. I think if you heard me explain it, you kind of understand. The Noir has more mid bass, so the vocals are not in the center. They are not the star of the show. They're not in the forefront or anything like that. Now compare the treble. The treble is slightly more relaxed compared to the original version as well. Now compare the mid-range. You find that some of the upper mid-range is pulled back as well. So what do you get with all of these? Like, now you find that the mid-range is not in the center of this show. Rather, this is a more relaxed version of the original Pilgrim. Things are a bit more relaxed. Like, I would describe it, and I would say, like, for example, it's a mellow tuning. Like, it's a tuning that's done well, it's done right, and I'm sure many people will enjoy hearing it. Is it an improvement over the Pilgrim original version? Let's talk first about the detail retrieval and instrument separation and soundstage. These 3 points are very important. Now, I'm not the guy with the golden ears who can hear everything and the most talented guy in the world or anything like that, but I will tell you honestly what I heard. I compared them side by side, volume matched, measured with a decibel meter. And I will tell you guys, honestly, I cannot tell a difference between either of them in terms of detail retrieval, instrument separation, and soundstage. These 3 qualities, I think they're both very, very similar, if not the same. And I know myself. I know, like, if you blindfold me, I know I will not be able to tell only based on these qualities. I know myself. I know what I can tell. I know what I can listen to and what I can hear. And some things, even some people say it's hard to hear, I can hear them. And I blind tested myself, and I can know exactly what I'm hearing. I focus on certain sounds, and I can get it. But in terms of detail, in terms of instrument separation, in terms of soundstage, between both of them, I cannot tell the difference. That's just my ear, and if someone says, the cable and stuff, again, I swapped the cable, man. I swapped the cable, and I used the original version with the upgraded cable. Maybe my ears are not strong enough to pick up the differences with the cable. Like, the cables are really important. Like, I have had issues before. Even USB cables are important. That's my stand on cables. Cables do make a difference, and I'm sure they do improve the sound, but the effect they do, I think it's a very minor effect. I hear guys say, like, it opens the sound stage, and I don't hear that. Like I'm being honest here. Like I'm telling you how it is. If you do believe that or you experience that, I totally respect your experience, because I've had instances where the cable made a huge differences, and in IEM specifically, it is something that I literally experienced with a few IEMs, that the cable made a difference in sound. Most of them were low impedance IEMs, and Pilgrim is a 9 ohm, I think, something like that. So I'm sure there is a difference, but that difference is bound to be minor. Like, I don't think a cable will increase the sound stage so much, or like make a night and day difference. Like, honestly, one of the things that make a huge difference to me is just ear tips. I'm being practical and honest here. Like, change ear tips, it will change the sound. I tried with headphones. I don't get that difference with headphones, but I experienced it with a few IMs. Shielding plays an effect, but most of the time I like the cable for the way it looks. If I'm paying for an expensive IM, I like a well-made cable. I like a high-quality material cable, just for peace of mind. And if there are benefits, there are. Maybe one day I will sit down and A/B them. Like, if you have any suggestions, I'm open to it, actually. But regardless, until now, even with this excellent, well-made cable that's non-microphonic, the differences, if there are, they are slight. I think a driver inside the IM itself, or the tuning itself, is going to be offering much more differences. Like, if you think about it, Elysian also gives a very good cable, at least material-wise, with the original version. So now comes to the question, in the end of all of this, do I prefer the Noir version or the original version? I will tell you honestly what my thoughts are. Like, based on value and based on money and cost and price, because I have to factor in these things based on my decision personally, I prefer the original version. Based on sound quality alone, if I had to choose, if you force me that I had to choose either one, I cannot take anything, I will choose the original version as well. Like the original version, when I compare them side by side, it sounds way more open, sounds way clear, like not more detail or anything, but just the vocals are more clear. They're in the center. There's a lot of air that gives some high frequency sounds air to it. The mid-range is not relaxed like the Noir. It's a sound signature that I love and enjoy. And the bass, although I wish it was more, again, it's okay and it's enough and it sounds detailed and everything is nice. Like I think that's the experience I get with it, and it's perfect. Really, really perfect. The resolution, like when you look at the value that the original Pilgrim did, wow, I don't think we will see another value like this for a long time. Like it competes with many IMs that I have that cost more. Like I swear, man, like I have here the Unique Melody Mest Mark III just here, like on my desk, and I prefer them. I prefer the original Pilgrim to them. Like seriously, like I have it right here with me. You can see it. I'm using it sometimes, and I prefer the Pilgrim to it. Like honestly, so that is something. If I could dream, I would add the bass of the Noir with the mid-range and the treble of the original version. That's the like ultimate perfect solution. But if I can only choose one, I would choose the original version. The value like proposition is insane. It's very high value. Sound is more open, sound is more clear. Like the air in the upper treble is what I like to hear. The sense of spaciousness, the sense of sizzle. It makes the vocals sound very clear. And again, the mid-range has a bit of highlight. It's not like pulled back or relaxed the way the Noir is. But the Noir has that bass, and the Noir is more relaxed, and it has the same amount of detail and resolution, and it comes with a better cable, which you can use even with other IMs because of the Term X and Connex connection system and so on. And the color. So that is my experience. Like, that's my experience with them, and I hope you guys find this video helpful. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you have any questions, I'll reply to it. If you like my content, please subscribe for more, and until then, see you in the next one. Bye.